Marape does not deserve to be in that office. Who the hell is he?
Our people deserve a break. This government's got to just wake up.
It has to be stopped before it goes bigger, and then the sewage goes into the water pipes.
And why are we begging, on the other hand, begging for money while we've got money coming in from the IMF?
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This is a press conference by the opposition to highlight an imminent crisis that will be taking place in the next week or so. And that's with Irma treatment plant being cut off. So the city will not be receiving water as it's usually from Water PNG because of this the treatment plant being cut off because of neglect over the years and corrosion. So this for the opposition raises serious issues about the health and welfare of the 1 million people or so that are living in Port Moresby. It's a crisis because everybody needs water for cooking, for washing, for health, for sanitation, and without water there will be a lot of health issues, and this is a serious problem. And this came about from the letter that was given to the media from the Department of National Planning, Michael Kumu, who wrote a letter to all foreign embassies on the 29th of May 2026, more or less begging them to supply bottled water. Now, if the leading department in the national government is asking foreign embassies to bring bottled water, what does that say about the level of governance and leadership and management of the government? It is a total and absolute indictment on the government, and has demonstrated without a shadow of a doubt that the state-owned enterprises are falling apart and are doing a total injustice to the people of Papua New Guinea. And this isn't an issue, the water crisis, that's come about because of some natural disaster or some shock. It was an ongoing, preventable issue, and it's just born of neglect. But now we are facing a crisis, and this is synonymous with the Marape government and with the leadership in the SOE by the Honourable Minister William Duma, who has just been absolutely unable to produce world-class state-owned enterprises that are profitable and that are able to really deliver services to the people of Papua New Guinea. So we feel that the country has to be aware, and then the government has to take immediate corrective action, because without water coming to the city, there will be a crisis on our hands. So to add on and give some more context to this imminent crisis, the Honourable Sapuka Temo, member for Abau, will also contribute before the Deputy Opposition Leader, member for Hirikari, the Honourable Keith Idahu, provides some insight, and then the former Prime Minister, the Honourable Peter O'Neill, member for Yalabu Pandia. So, Sir Pukatemo, to add some thoughts.
Thank you, Opposition Leader, and thank you, media, for coming to this press conference. As rightly echoed by our good Opposition Leader, this is an issue of national importance, particularly for the nation's capital, Port Moresby City. And as you and I know, the city receives both its water supply and power supply from Sirinungu and Rona 1, 2, 3, and 4. This issue came to my notice some years back, where the infrastructure from Rona 1, 2, and 3, as you know, about 30 to 50 years old. And so this leakage is expected. However, now that the leak has been identified, the urgency to repair the leak is the issue that I want to raise today. And unfortunately, from the planning office, secretary's office, they have written to all our development partners to get ready. But they have failed to inform the city residents. This is so serious that everybody must be aware of. All of us who are residents and people coming in and out from overseas or business to do business in the city, we must be well informed. And I want the media to go to PNG Water after this. You need to go and ask them what is the schedule they have now got to manage this leak. How long will it take? Because from the information that I've got, from May, June to July, they are going to address these leak issues. They have yet to procure the pipes. So if the leak gets worse while we are waiting for the pipes to arrive, then there is an imminent disaster coming to the city. I don't know, and you also have to ask Edaran to also inform the residents whether this leakage is already bringing sewage into our water system right now. And being a former health secretary before, I know the structures out there. When there is a leak, we are looking at coming to the drinking water system some sewage. This is an emergency. Cholera will come to this city in a big time. So this is not something simple that the government will sweep under the carpet. No, no, no. All of us must talk about it now. This is very serious stuff. I want to ask the MD for Water PNG to inform the country and the city residents that this leakage has not allowed the raw material coming out into the drinking water system that is coming to us residents. I have just noted an increase in typhoid cases in the city. A good number of relatives that I know are having typhoid. Next one will be cholera. Edaranu, the minister responsible, Duma, to tell the country that at this stage we are safe. No raw material is leaking into our water reticulation system for water cooking and everything. Because once a little sewage material goes into Mount Ariama and then pipeline or back pressure from Rona Poa back to Mount Ariama, we are in trouble. So this is an emergency situation, and I want the minister and his Water PNG chairman and the CEO MD to inform the city residents that we are okay. And with El Nino also coming, and this issue of shortages, it is going to be from May to September that the scheduled work will finish. May to September is the El Nino time. And so we are going to be double jeopardized with Rona 1 and 2 to 3 to be shut off to repair this emergency thing and some other work that has to go. So city will be running out of water. El Nino will also come, affecting the whole country. And so water safety is the biggest issue that I'm seeing right now. Water safety is paramount to life.
And as the opposition rightly said, all those issues with water, all the problems related to bad water will come to the city residents. And so from May to July, I'm told, the procurement has to take place. Right now, I'm asking the minister, have the pipes been ordered? Have they been procured? When are they coming? Has work on the leak began? It has to be stopped before it goes bigger, and then the sewage goes into the water pipes. Then the city in trouble. That's the point I want to emphasize. So we need to educate ourselves. Right now, I'm also calling upon the city residents, boil the water that is coming through the PNG, the NCD water system. Don't just drink it out or put it in a water cooler and just drink it out. No, boil it first. Because I'm hearing that some leakage, sewage has taken place already. I hope I'm wrong, but I want the minister and the MD for water PNG to assure the citizens of Port Moresby City that this has not yet happened. And then they need to work on this leakage immediately if they haven't got. But all I know is the pipes required to prevent the leak and the bypass that they will have to do have not been procured, and therefore there is a 30-day, 21-day procurement time that we know. We are going to wait for another 30 days. If they won't arrive in the next 30 days, this leak will get bigger and bigger, and we are in trouble. That's a message I want to appeal to the minister and his chairman and MD of Water PNG to now come out today and inform the city residents that we are safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to the media again for attending this very important conversation this afternoon. I thank the opposition leader, former Prime Minister, joining and Honorable Secretary joining us on behalf of the opposition wing. I think it's very important to point out some matter of national interest, if I may say. Now, this water situation is such that, if you understand Port Moresby, not too long ago, and the water capacity is intended for about 300,000 people, population of Port Moresby. Port Moresby has not always been as populous as it is today. Now, bearing over 1 million people in the city and the peripheries of Port Moresby into Hirikwari. The infrastructure has indeed aged since the 1960s. And one would think that maintenance of water reticulation infrastructure would be one of the greatest priorities for any city to deal with, and for any government to put on the top of the agenda, considering the influx of people from all parts of the country. Now, this really is a matter of great concern, because the fact that a National Department of Planning comes out, cap in hand, asking for money from the international partners and development partners is quite an embarrassing situation to be in. Two things are clear in today's paper. One is, on one hand, there are water woes being expressed in the Post-Courier today of National Department of Planning and on behalf of the government going and cap in hand to donor partners asking for financial support for water carts, water bottles, storage capacities, water distribution. What that notice will tell you is that this government is completely disorganized, out of their depth, have no foresight, no sense of empathy for our people and our people's health. And so this is embarrassing. You'd think that the government should be, we've just adjourned from 2 weeks of parliamentary sitting. Nobody. Not the Minister for State-Owned Enterprise, not the Prime Minister, nobody on the government side, or even the Minister for Disaster, thought it important to address the nation of this water crisis that we are going into now. And we will only learn of it through this, of these measures as an afterthought through a memo that has gone out to the public. This is complete incompetence, neglect, and just completely mindless, if you like. On the other hand, there is a statement of 700+ million that IMF has given to the country yet again, added on top of our already big economic black hole, now ranging at 4.4 billion, for our children to pay into the future. Where is that money going? And why are we begging, on the other hand, begging for money while we've got money coming in from the IMF? This is just complete, utter, irresponsible show of leadership, or the lack thereof. So the minister needs to come out, and Water PNG, as Honorable Sir Puka Temu did say, media should, after this, go to Water PNG and find out what the plan is. Go to KCH and ask them what the plan is. What is the plan of the government to, in an organized fashion, provide this water solution? Apparently there's a 20-year water plan for Port Moresby. In that water plan, there are proposed alternative sources of water, and there should be a plan of action as to how these water woes could be addressed. This problem didn't just surface. Now we are talking about an El Nino, and apparently the worst in the history of our country. We've had one El Nino before in 2015, and even before that in about 1998 or 99. And it's a recurring event or problem. So the city and the government should be putting this right on the top of the agenda as a responsive measure for the people we care for. 1 million people. The water issue is compromised. One thing is for certain, health crisis will shoot up. And the Honorable Sir Puka Temu did point out already, the direct effect, the impact of that is typhoid, cholera, dysentery, and just all manner of health issues will loom. 14 days is a very long time for a city like Port Moresby to go without water, without a real plan, and without any care for her people. I think that's all I can say at this point. So we're clear, Port Moresby. We're very clear. There cannot be any confusion that we are being handled or mishandled by a completely incompetent government insofar as our water issues are concerned.
Thank you, Leader of Opposition and Deputy Leader and Sir Puka. I too join my colleagues in expressing my concern about the water crisis that is looming in our city, and also because of El Nino and related natural disaster issues around the country. And as Deputy Leader of Opposition has just stated, we have been in Parliament for almost 3 weeks, and some of these issues of concern that is going to affect the lives of every citizen of this country has not been given the attention that it deserves by the Prime Minister or his 38 so-called ministers, or even the members of government themselves. Now, as we speak today about the water crisis in the city, they are parading out at Holiday Inn on Sampango Convention about policies. Sorry, where? Oh, sorry, Hilton or whatever they call themselves nowadays. I'm confused about the hotels that they frequent, and but now they're parading themselves about so-called policies and discussions that will chart a course of our nation and the development aspirations of our country into the future. It is plain clear, almost close to 8 years after, that we have an incompetent Prime Minister and an incompetent government. I think every thinking Papua New Guinean, unless you plump like Kai man. I think every thinking Papua New Guinean, unless you plump like Kai man. And unless you are so silly and unable to comprehend the nature of the things that are happening in the country, we continue to support a government that doesn't care about you and I. We have now had issues about medical issues in the country, health crisis in the country. Not one solution. All they do is boast about budget allocation, which is meaningless. Then we have had issues about, of course, the water power crisis in the country. And now we have issues about water. Now the blackouts in the country is almost so frequent that we think that it is normal. That we don't have to care. Tomorrow I'm a blackout then, so we just have to live through it. I mean, you have a vibrant city of 1 million plus population in this. Port Moresby is now the 5th biggest city in the Pacific. And you don't have measures to make sure that you adequately provide water, sewage and power to the city residents. It's no point having a government that is not capable of looking after you. So we have to call on the government to, so what are the plans that they have? You can't have a city without water for 2 or 3 weeks. How are people going to go to the toilet? How are they going to have a shower? How are they going to feed their children and their families without water? Let alone run government services, hospitals, schools and so forth. The lack of planning is now resulting into the disaster that we are facing. The health crisis that Sepuka is talking about. The plans to establish a second reservoir for water supply in the country has been in existence for a while. In fact, it is ready and it's down at Bunu, close to Papalele. The government is playing politics and they have now delayed that project for 7 years. And as a result, we don't even have a standby position for water into the city. We know that the Sirinumu Dam and the rivers there are not able to feed the entire city population. But because of lack of planning, lack of attention, incompetence, we are now facing this kind of situation. It'll continue to get worse over the next few years. Because Nomane Wambla issue, power crisis has been going on for almost 2 or 3 years around the country. Not one single solution. Except they've got a Chinese contractor linking up power lines all around the country on power supplies we don't have. From Ella all the way down to Morobe. They're able to supply all these big multi-million kind of projects that have got no ability to service our people. So let us demand of our government, demand of our minister. We have 38 ministers who are very silent about what is happening in the country. None of them are able to stand up on the floor of parliament and say, these are the problems the nation is facing. I will help find a solution. Unfortunately, nobody is thinking. And that is why we are facing this crisis. So I support the call by the opposition leader and deputy opposition leader and Sepuka that the health crisis is looming. If we start having cholera and all these diseases facing the city, you have, of course, disaster on hand. Now, El Nino is just, I think, going to take full effect in a few months' time. Government has got, up in the highlands, most of them are running out of food. And shortly they'll be asking government to supply relief supplies. How long are we going to feed our people with that when the dry season extends for a few months and probably into the year? So I think this piecemeal approach of begging for others to come and help, a government writing to embassies. Where is the Australian embassy or French embassy or European Union going to go and drive a water cart to come and feed us? So Some lolo mibla toto gona mibla mouseband. They think that this is politics. It's not politics. The reality is facing me, facing you, and every family in the country. This is not about politics. Nobody wins in politics when our people are suffering. And this is precisely why we are saying that, Marape does not deserve to be in that office. Who the hell is he? Just because he thinks he comes from a province that is supplying us LNG doesn't mean that he owns the country. He is incompetent. He's proven it time and time again. Out of the 15 or 16 million people in this country, you can't find one person who can help manage this country well and of course provide basic services to our people. Are we saying that we can't find that person? I think Yimi too must wake up legally. Yimi, how much Loman natin, abim name Loman natin. O kind long man too, Yimi to one play hero. Please, enough. Thank you, bro. Nungod mi toto gona, but me cross natin
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just to wrap up, we've heard that this was a completely preventable issue. Every year, based on the valuation of the reticulation system, there's a 30 to 50 million kina maintenance budget for water PNG. And the question is, where has that money gone, and why haven't they conducted routine maintenance on something that's so important? It's a necessity of life when we're dealing with water. Because if 14 days, if the people of Port Moresby, the 1 million residents, do not have access to clean water, it will drastically affect their health, and we will have a lot of deaths that can be prevented by the government taking proactive action. Here we can see that the government has just completely failed in its governance standards. It has demonstrated that it does not have the foresight to predict that these issues will arise. It lacks the integrity because there's no empathy, like the Deputy Opposition Leader said, for the people. And there's no accountability to say that they do not understand how things work and have the right people in the right positions effectively managing. And that's the first principle of management, is to ensure that the institution works effectively. And we've seen that it hasn't, with this sort of ad hoc, piecemeal approach to all these issues that just evolve into a crisis. We've already had the health crisis, fuel crisis. We've had our people just evicted without a plan. We've got families displaced, homeless. We've got a cost of living crisis. We've seen the health crisis with no medicines, mothers on the floor. There's no dignity for our people. Our people deserve a break. This government's got to just wake up and start to put the people first and deal with these issues before they blow up and then turn into another crisis. One crisis after another crisis after another crisis. This is not how a government should govern its people. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time.